Hey there, this is Andrew, and if you watched my deck opening video that I just put up, you'll know the reason I'm doing this is I don't even have shipping info yet on my Winds of Exchange order, but oh well, it's okay. It's nice to see a lot of people get their stuff. That's very exciting. So I am consoling myself by going over the spoilers other people have opened for Grim Reminders, which is going to be set 7. It's what comes after Winds of Exchange. Now, my slight fear actually is that by the time I get my spoilers, they're going to be redundant. They're just going to have nothing that hasn't already been spoiled. And my actual guess is that that Ghost Galaxy have a set pool of cards to share through the spoilers that way, and so so at some point, you're going to reach saturation. In any case, there's going to be like 200 something cards in the set anyway, so it's not like they have unlimited spoilers to give out. But my guess is it'll be a smaller pool than that, and that's okay. But it does take away a little bit of the fun of getting the spoilers. Still, I'm glad people are getting their decks. So having said all that, let me just get started, because I just want to talk about the spoilers that other people have shared so far. So if you don't want Grim Reminder spoilers, then you shouldn't watch this. This is not the video for you. All right. And huge kudos to Archon Arcana for having a nice, easy way to look at these. That is still separated out from the Winds of Exchange spoilers, because those are still technically spoilers until Master Vault lets you scan in the decks. So anyway, okay, with that all out of the way, let's do it. All right. Dr. Ziloxfrex is a 2-power scientist and Martian in Mars, obviously. That says, after Reap, play a Mars creatures from your discard pile and ready it. That's super cool. I really like that effect. Obviously, it'd be nice to get this with a nice play effect, but it's just cool. Now, it is 2-power and not elusive even, so no armor. It's difficult to imagine this thing living, but it is cool. You could chain these. If you had 2 in your discard pile and 1 ready to go, you could bring 1 back, ready it, bring the other one back. That'd be kind of cool. Chaining Ziloxfrexes. Okay, Blunderbore is a 6-power giant in Brobnar. And it says, after fight, if you are haunted, your opponent loses 2 amber. And if I recall correctly, the haunted means that you have 10 or more cards in your discard pile. So this is a card that gains an effect when your discard pile when you have a lot of cards discarded. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if the effect is good enough to justify it, but maybe it is. Maybe it'll be super awesome. 2 is a lot. All right, Curse of Confusion is an artifact, and it's a curse, and it's in Unfathomable, and it has Treachery, which means this card enters play under your opponent's control. Oh, by the way, it looks like both those other cards I covered are going to be commons. This is going to be a rare. So that's interesting. And it says, at the end of your turn, exhaust each friendly creature of the active house. So I guess what that's doing is incentivizing you to switch houses, sort of like an Ulfbert device. So that's cool, but it'll only apply to the opponent. This Treachery thing, that's going to show up. We've seen it already in a couple of cards, but now it'll show up in more. A couple, Scally Keeper. Who else? Is it just Scally Keeper? Maybe so. All right. Yeah, but we're going to see it in more. And this Curse of X looks like a nice theme that they're developing. So we're going to see a couple more of those. I don't know if it'll be something where you'll have one in every house, like with, shards, or if this will be something where you just a few houses have them, like the ships. Not every house had a ship, but either way, kind of cool. All right. Another curse. Curse of Cowardice. This is the Brobnar one, I guess. It's, yeah, they all have treachery. And it says, at the end of your turn, if you did not fight with any creatures this turn, you lose 2 amber. So you got to do at least 1 fight or lose amber. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's going to be really rough if you're wiping the board, right? Essentially, if you're wiping the board every turn, your opponent's going to be losing 2 every turn. That's brutal. Wow, that's a strong card. Huh, okay. Curse of Obstinacy is a Star Alliance one, and it says at the end of your turn, stun each friendly non-flank creature that shares a house with one of its neighbors. So that's a lot of qualifications, but if it does hit, that's worse than the exhausting of the Unfathomable one. So I guess this just makes you really have to design your battle line nicely. Moving on, we have Dredge. This is an action in Unfathomable, and no Amber Pip or anything on it. It says play for the remainder of the turn. Each creature you control gains after Reap. Return a card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. That's kind of cool. So you can really craft what you're going to get. And I could imagine if you know, okay, at the end of my turn, I'm going to draw 3 cards. But I can Reap 4 times. Maybe I return something for what I am expecting I'll pick in 2 turns from now, and then I'll pick 3 cards from the house I'm anticipating picking next turn. That'd be kind of a cool way to do it. But yeah, that's a fun effect. Then we have Duma the Returned. This is and that, by the way, it looks like the curses are all rare. Dredge is uncommon, and then Duma the Returned looks like will be will be a special rarity. So that's very interesting, and it's really weird to me that this is showing up in Brobnar, because I know Sanctum won't be in Grim Reminder, right? Yeah, I think Sanctum's back out, but very interesting to have Duma in Brobnar. I guess a little more fighting now, or maybe something else is going on that I don't understand. But anyway, so there's this interesting effect around. Maybe these are like the opposite of anomalies. These are cards that represent hauntings from past characters that maybe they can show up at any house. I don't know. Lot of speculation here, but it says so. Duma is a 3-power specter, and it says if you are haunted, you may play Duma the Return from your discard pile. And when Duma the Return is destroyed, you return the top 3 cards of your discard pile to your hand. So that's really interesting. Wow. And if that's happening on your opponent's turn, that's boosting up to like 9 hand size. That's pretty great. Okay. Echo Fly is going to be in the new house, Gormengeist. Echo Fly is a 2-power specter robot with 1 armor that has action, return an action card from your discard pile to your hand. That's pretty great. And has the scrap effect, which is a new thing, which means this triggers when this card is discarded from your hand. So when you discard Echo Fly from your hand, you would archive the topmost action card from your discard pile. Yeah, so cool. And that's important because that it says it that way, the topmost, because that way you don't have to choose. And if it happens off your turn, then it's fine. But the action ability, you have a little more flexibility. So it seems like you'd want this to land, but the scrap effect is still pretty cool. Next we have Forbidden Tome, which is an uncommon artifact. Echo Fly, by the way, also uncommon. So this is an uncommon artifact. It's an item, and it has Enhance, +1 draw, and also 2 discards. So these are a new enhancement that says when you play this card, you discard. This causes you to discard a card from your hand, which I think will be a really nice effect. So each haunted player refills their hand to 1 additional card during their draw card step. And of course, those discard pips are going to help you get there faster. So this is a lopsided effect. Yeah, seems cool. I like it. and that's in Equidon. Then we have in here somewhere, this is a Gormengeist card that, and it's an action, and it says play. If you are haunted, archive 2 cards from your discard pile. Otherwise, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. This one I feel like could use an Amber, although, I mean, if you do the first effect, if you are haunted, it seems great. But if you're not haunted, it's not very good. Unless maybe returning from your discard pile is just such a good effect that discarding is worth it. Otherwise, I think you really would want to pip on this. Then we have Lieutenant Halasta, who's a 3-power human that says, after Reap, stun a creature. When you scrap her, you stun the most powerful enemy creature. That's a typo, clearly. Yeah, so yeah, pretty cool. Not a terrible effect, and that's a common. Where's it in here somewhere? Also common. Lifting Buddy is a 5-power giant creature that in Brobnar that says after fight or reap, you give Lifting Buddy 2+1 power counters and give a friendly creature 2+1 power counters. I guess you could give Lifting Buddy all 4 power counters. This probably should say another friendly creature, but still, it's a cool thing. I mean, that seems pretty good, actually, boosting the power of this and another creature. I like it. Then we have Mid-Year Festivities. This is an Equidon card. It's an action. When you play it, you choose 9 creatures, and you move all the amber on the chosen creatures to their controllers' pools, then destroy the chosen creatures. That is crazy, weird, interesting. And if you combine it with a lot of capture, probably a bit overpowered, but very cool. So, and that is a rare. Gnarl Gibbous is a 3-power human with play, and after Reap, enrage Gnarl Gibbous and search your deck and discard pile for Werewolf Curse and attach it to Gnarl Gibbous. 3 power is so low. And I thought it was in here. There's Werewolf. And the curse actually is an upgrade that gives a creature skirmish and splash attack 3. And after fight, you destroy the Werewolf Curse. It's not that exciting of effect is the problem. I think it's fine, but not that great. Especially with no amber on it. If it had an amber on it, wow, that'd be pretty good. All right, Proton Siphon is an upgrade in Starlight. Oh, that was Untamed, by the way, and that was an uncommon card, and the upgrade that goes with it is special rarity. Then we have Proton Siphon, a common upgrade in Star Alliance that says, while you are haunted, this creature gains splash attack 3. That seems fine, but again, would like to see an amber on it. Then we have Sandworm, a 16-power beast in Equidon that says, after fight and after reap, you shuffle Sandworm into your deck. That's powerful, but again, like slow, right? You can at most use it every other turn, and that's if you're going Equidon every turn. I just don't know. That seems like a high cost. Now, 16 power is big, but it's excessively big. Having a 16 power creature is not that much better than having a 5 power creature. But maybe I'm wrong. And, you know, if you get this with enhancements, that could be pretty great. But otherwise, it does not seem that impressive. And that is an uncommon. Then we have Spontaneous Awakening, an action in Gormengeist. They're going to have to figure out the templating if they're going to be that yellow. Action's a little hard to read. But it says, play if you're, and this is an uncommon, play if your opponent is haunted, destroy an enemy artifact, cyborg, or robot. If you do, after that card is destroyed, put it into play under your control. While under your control, it belongs to House Geistoid. Geistoid, not Gormengeist, sorry. That's kind of complicated. That's a wall of text. But, so if your opponent has a large discard pile, destroy an enemy artifact, cyborg, or robot. You complete the destruction and put that card in play under your control. and treat it as belonging to House Geistoid. So that's interesting. It's just weird that you destroy it and then put it into play under your control. Like, compare that to Snecklifter or something, right? Like, would be much easier to manage. Okay, Spooky Charge is an untamed action. It's a common, and it says if you are haunted, forge a key at current cost. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck. Wow, that's pretty great. So if you're haunted, you forge a key at current cost. Shuffling your discard pile into your deck, I guess, is interesting because it means you can't like do 2 of these in one turn, and because you would not be haunted after the first one. But you don't have to purge this. It seems fine. Yeah, I think I like this. Tendrils from Beyond is an action. It's unfathomable. Again, no pip on this, it seems like. So when you play it, you return a creature to its owner's hand. If its controller is haunted, you return each of that creature's neighbors to their owner's hands. I am actually starting to wonder if maybe these don't have pips because they're not the final version. So maybe for some of these they will add a pip, and some of them they won't. I don't know. War of the Worlds is an action in Mars, and when you play it, you destroy all non-Mars creatures and deal 2 damage to each Mars creature. I like that. I like the art. Yeah, fun stuff. And that's uncommon. Tendrils from Beyond was a common. And that's it. That's it. So that's all the Grim Reminders spoilers that I'm aware of so far. But I'm sure we'll get a few more. I imagine we'll get a few more. And I would love to get something new and fresh. And if so, then I'll get excited and bring it to you right away. But my hopes aren't that high. And that's okay. Again, I'm happy that people are getting decks. So that's that. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed and that you're excited for both Winds of Exchange and Grim Reminders. And I hope that you'll get out there and forge some keys. Thanks.